there, Steve here again.
30-minute demo, setting up a brand new trial site. I'm just going to go through some of the fundamental stuff to try and create a really nice looking website reasonably quickly. My producer and marketing guru Alicia is joining us on the website. Say hello, Alicia.
Hi there. How you doing?
So she'll be helping me field questions from you guys and just keep things running smooth, which would be great. And so yeah, it'll be a quick demo for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to leave 20 to 30 minutes for an open Q&A afterwards to see if you guys can give us an idea of exactly what it is that you're needing help with at the moment. So that is pretty much the intro. As you can see on my screen, I'm just in the process of setting up a trial account to start fresh with. I'll get that sorted and then we can get underway. Here we go. Fantastic. Okay, so I've landed in my brand new admin account and I'm going to make a start. First of all, what I'll do first is show you a little bit of navigation. Some of this stuff you will have become a little familiar with already. But obviously at the top left here, we have this condensed hamburger icon that expands the navigation area for you. If you're not aware, it's also interesting to note that you can use your admin account on an iPhone or an iPad as well. So if you're on the go with an iPad, a little bit tougher on the iPhone, but on an iPad, you can actually get into your admin account and change your website on the move. So here is our navigation layout. Obviously, dashboard is where we are at the moment. Then the library section is where our gallery categories, and watermarking is controlled. When you land in your admin account, obviously you have a list of sample galleries that we give you to play with. They're handy to test out the functionality with, but you can just delete those if you don't want them there. Under the website section here is where we control most of the publishing side of things to do with our layout of our website and so on. So we have website pages, and the default setup here in a trial account is for a home, about, portfolio, client access, portfolio, and a blog page, and we'll come back to that later. Assets, sliders, themes we'll look at in more depth later. Domain names you can look at later on. And then obviously there's a blog section. Store is where you'll go to set up all of your e-commerce, your photography products, your catalogs of products, which is just a collection of products. Within catalogs, you'll also set your retail pricing. And catalogs essentially relates to a la carte product sales, whereas packages would be a whole collection of different products that you package together and set a single retail price for that whole collection. Products here is where you actually create individual products, and you can monitor the wholesale pricing of those products, and discounts if you're interested in providing discounts for your customers. Shipping methods, reports, and store settings is a really important section of your site. We probably won't touch on this area today because we're really trying to focus on more of the publishing and site layout design aspect today. But the business settings, the store settings area is really important to setting up your e-commerce and making sales. And if you need help with that at the moment at all, first of all, let us know at help@photomerchant.com if ever you have any questions. But also make sure you check out your Kickstart guide. I think lessons 9 through to 12 in the Kickstart guide focus on this section. And before I go any further, I might open another tab and just point out that anytime you have any questions you have today, if I'm not able to address them immediately, or if I'm not able to get to your question, make sure you go to support.photomerchant.com. You should be able to navigate to this page from within your admin area via a support link that will be available in the bottom left of your menu area there, help and support. That will open up this support homepage. You can search for anything you're after here, and this Kickstart tutorial listing here is probably the go-to location if you're still within your trial period or just setting up your e-commerce especially. So make sure you're familiar with that. We'll refer back to that again later, but that's the store section. Contacts is where all of your customer contacts will be captured and listed. You can also create contact groups. And then metrics is where, this is a brand new account, so I'm not going to have a lot of data in here, but metrics is where we capture a lot of visitor metrics and, but basically just a lot of metrics around referrals, social referrals, any backlinks you might have coming back to your page, and just an overview of who is coming to your site and where they're coming from. Again, unfortunately, I'm not able to show you a great deal here because this is a brand new test account, but make sure you have a look at that area in your own admin section. Integrations, again, this gets a little bit beyond the scope of what we're going to look at today, but integrations lets you tie in your social media accounts with your photo merchant site. And this area helps you basically either publish gallery, image, and blog post content, publish and push out to your own social network page. There's also an area in here under the under the website settings area that lets you switch on Facebook and other social sharing icons for your customers to share to their social networks from your gallery pages. So there's a bit of a distinction to make there between you pushing content out to your own social networks and your customers sharing on their side. If you have any questions around that, again, go to this support.photomerchant.com page and just do a quick search for social or something similar, and you should find what you're after there. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the navigation. Now, let's make a start, and probably the first thing I want to do in my new account is to upload some images and create a new gallery. So I'm going to come to this galleries area, and first thing I want to do is create a new gallery with this button to the top right. I'm going to call this my 2016 portfolio gallery. I can add a description there if I like. I won't at this point in time. I'm going to leave e-commerce off for the moment because we're not really going to dive into that today. Again, if you need help with that, let me know, help@photomerchant.com, or dive into that help page and just do a quick search for e-commerce. Social sharing buttons, I won't switch that on just yet today. I can quickly look down here at privacy and make sure that the visibility is switched on for the moment. If you want to hide your gallery initially, you can switch that off. I do want to apply a watermark to my images. We have a sample watermark ready to go for you in the new account, and I'll show you shortly how to look at uploading your own watermark as well. So I want to apply that to my images. I don't want to set a gallery expiration date at the moment, and I don't need at the moment to set a password. I'm going to keep this fairly simple. If you do set a password for your galleries, people who arrive at that gallery will receive an authentication page. So there'll be a gallery title and they'll have the opportunity to enter a password. If they don't know the password, pardon me, and they were at an event and they should have access to this gallery, they can request access to the gallery by hitting a link, which will give you a notification email, and you can set the request message here that invites them to ask for the password. So I don't need to dive into that just now. Contacts and contact groups. This is worth looking at. I don't have any contacts in my account just yet, but be careful with this setting. Don't tick. If I had contacts here, they would be listed with a checkbox against their name. Don't check these boxes unless you intend to make this gallery invisible to anyone else who lands on your site. So if I had a John Smith here and he was my client for this particular gallery of images, I could tick John Smith's name in this list, and only John would be able to see the gallery. And in order to see it, he would have to log in to his account on my live website. So there's a couple of hurdles that you're setting there for visitors to your website. Just understand that that's a visibility setting Don't accidentally check that box, because suddenly your gallery will not be visible to anyone other than John, and John will have to log in to see it. Properties is fairly simple. A permalink is just the website URL link that this system will assign for me based on my gallery name. If you need to be really specific, you can manually do that yourself. Assign a category. Again, this is something we'll look at a little bit deeper later. Basically, a category is a collection of galleries. And event date, I don't need to be worried about that for the moment. SEO information, very quickly, this relates to every page on your website, whether it be the home page, the about page, or this gallery page. Each section of your website gives you the chance to set an SEO meta title, meta description, and a list of meta keywords to help optimize your website's SEO. SEO is an entirely, it's a science unto itself, so we won't dive any deeper on that today. We might in the future do a webinar dedicated to SEO, but just know that that facility is there for every page of your website. Okay, so that's a quick overview. I'm going to save that gallery. And my gallery has been created, and we're ready to go. I just need to upload some photos. Probably the easiest way to upload images initially is to hit this Add Photos button. You can also come up to the top right here and hit an Add Photos button here. Just be aware that if you go through this process the first time around, we'll load some images in here now, and the second time, this Add Photos button in the middle of the screen is going to disappear because you now have images in the way. So you may, on the second load, want to use a different method. I'm going to come to my test images folder, grab a bunch of images here. I just need to hit enter, and they will begin loading in. Great, so my images are uploaded right away. Again, that first method that I used to upload images is now gone. So I need to come up to the top right to add photos, or alternatively, I can also, from a Finder window, I can simply select, drag, and drop a bunch of images into that screen, and that will initiate an upload for me. While this is happening, one thing to be a little aware of when working in your admin account, try to use either a Chrome or Firefox browser. Some of the uploading and theme changing and other functionality gets a little bit hard to handle when using Safari or Internet Explorer, for example. Your live website will work for your visitors with any browser, but this admin account it's a much more technical piece of software. So unfortunately, Safari and Internet Explorer in particular don't behave as we would like them to in the admin account. So if you have any trouble doing any of these tasks that you see me performing today, try Firefox or Chrome, and that will iron out probably 90% of things that you have trouble with. Great, so my images are up. I'm now going to check for the first time my live website. If I come to the top right, I can hit this View Site button, and that's going to launch the site in a new tab for me. Great, and here we go. So this is my homepage. I have some default images appearing in a slider that Photo Merchant has set up for me as a default on this page. None of this is mine yet, but what I do have, if I come over to my portfolio link, is a brand new gallery called 2016 Portfolio. These other galleries are again sample images and sample galleries that I can get rid of and delete if I wish. But any galleries that I create here and images that I upload will appear under this portfolio link. Client access is another portfolio of itself, but it's actually a portfolio where only my client jobs have been manually added. By default, any new galleries I create will come up in this portfolio area. If I wanted this new gallery to load under the client access area, I would have to do some more manual work, which we'll try and get to later for you. Great. Okay, so that's uploading. Very quickly, I'll show you some image security. I'll talk to image security very quickly. As you're well aware, image security is a very important part of any website that you have online. We applied a watermark when I first set my gallery up, but as you can see, the default watermark at the moment is actually, it's buried down here in the bottom right corner of my images. It's really quite small. I'm going to go back in my admin account in a moment and expand that so it's just a little bit more centered and a bit wider. Will give me much better protection against anyone who wants to try and screenshot my images. And also, if a visitor were to come to your site and try to right click and save any images. Now, sorry, I've done that incorrectly. Okay, so with this layout, I can't actually right-click and get any reaction from the browser at all. I think there's another theme and layout that I'll show you in a moment that does show another method of protection. But at the moment, this particular image, whether it be in large preview size, okay, so I'm not able to save anything there. This is actually trying to save the entire page as an HTML file. HTML files obviously is just code. It's not giving me any opportunity to actually save an image to my system. The only time you might see the save as function work on your site, you should notice what will happen is that you'll see a file named kittens.gif is able to be saved as opposed to your actual image. Kittens.gif is a bit of a pun from one of our developers. It's basically a single pixel overlay that protects your actual image file on the live site. So there's no way that someone can right click and save your image. Instead, as a bit of a pun, they get this single pixel icon which serves no purpose at all. So image protection, very important. We've got that covered. I'm going to come back into my admin account now. And we're going to go over and have a look at the watermarks, just while we're on that topic of security. So sample watermark is the watermark that you saw me apply to my new gallery a moment ago. This is actually what the sample file looks like. If I hit this edit icon here, or I double click on the sample watermark, that's going to open up the watermark settings for me. So as we saw, I do have a number of default watermarks to choose from here. And as we saw, the watermark currently applied to my gallery is sitting down the bottom right, and the width, if we look at this slider here, is only 15%, so it's very small, it's out of the way, it's probably not doing that big a job of securing my images. For the sake of the exercise, and just to show you, I'm going to center that watermark, and I'm going to change the width, which is how we control the overall size, back right up to, say, 85. And over here to the right, there's a preview image that you will see update as I make these changes. And now I'm going to change that all the way up to 100%, and you'll see that width update, just to give us an idea of what the images will look like on the live site. I can also adjust the opacity to make that more or less opaque. And again, the example there to the right updates. That's exactly how I want that watermark to look. I'm going to save that change, and we'll come back to my live site. Keep an eye on this, or any of these images, really. I'm going to hit Apple R to refresh my live website. That's a Mac, obviously. If you were on a PC, you would hit F5. And when the page loads, you'll see that my watermarks now fully, obviously, protect my images. That might be a little bit extreme for how you want to display your images, but just know that you have that control to secure everything that you upload on your site. Excellent. Let's have a look now at our pages section. Sorry. I'm going to go to the website navigation area and then to the pages. And again, the default setup here, we just have 5 simple pages. The home page and the about page are simply web pages. If you look at the right-hand column there, we have the page type listed for you. So web page, obviously just an area where you throw up some photos, you put some information for your customers, as opposed to my portfolio, which is where my default gallery went, or my client access portfolio. These are portfolio pages which house your galleries. They also can contain categories of galleries. So with your gallery structure, you can actually achieve 3 different tiers of image nesting: portfolio, gallery, and then galleries containing your images. We won't go too deep on that today, but just know that this is a totally different type of page, and it's specifically designed to accommodate your galleries and your images. And then we have the blog section, which is an entity unto itself, really, and we'll show you that in a little while. So let's quickly now set up I'm going to set up a contact page. I have home and about, but I want a dedicated contact page on my site. So to the top right, if I hit the add page drop button, it's going to ask me what type of page I want. So that list we just went through. We'll keep it simple today. We can also create folders if you wish. Gallery pages, which are similar to portfolio pages, and gallery category pages, which are again a type of portfolio page. You can also create an external link, which is simply a link that will appear in your navigation strip that takes you off to an external site. I'm going to keep it simple and run with a new web page. And I'm going to call this my contact page. Permalink, again, the system will automatically assign a link to this area based on my page name, so I don't have to do anything there. If you want to assign something specific, you can, and that again is just the URL of your new page. Page heading is optional. I don't think I need that at the moment. It's fairly self-explanatory. And parent page. I'm not going to worry about this at the moment, but I could, if I wish, make my new contact page nest itself in the navigation structure under any of these pages that are listed here. So I could have the contact page appear under the home page or under the about page, which might make sense. I wouldn't do it under the portfolio or client access pages because, again, that's your image area. That would be confusing to visitors to your site. I'm going to come back and deselect that because I don't want to do that just now. Now, to create content in our editor, we come to this content block here and hit the plus icon. And I'm going to keep this fairly simple. I'm going to create 2 columns. First column is going to contain some text. Now, for the sake of simplicity, I've got this Ipsum site open that's sort of just basically auto-generates random text for me that looks like it could be proper content. Then in this area over here, I'm going to quickly add an image. To add an image to your site, all you need to do is choose that image content block, hit choose an image, and you will then be able to go to any of your galleries. Again, most of these are sample galleries that I would probably later delete, but my 2016 portfolio is a gallery that I uploaded of my own images not long ago. So I'm going to select an image there. That will be dropped into that area of my site, and now below that I'm going to create a form. Okay, so there's a bunch of different types of content here that you can add. We won't cover all of these in detail today, we just won't have time, but you can create a larger heading block, text obviously, a list block. You can add in video, an image, as we just did. Sliders is another thing that might be worth searching the help desk for, because that's a very simple process that helps you create a slideshow to insert on your pages. raw HTML. If you're a little bit technical, you can tailor your page or that content area of your page with HTML and JavaScript. Right now, I'm going to add a form. This is just a very simple contact form that lets any visitor to my site send me their name, their email, their phone, and a quick message. So there's nothing else that I need to do to configure that. I'm going to come down the bottom right and save my changes. Fantastic. Now, flicking again over to my live site, I'm going to hit Apple R to refresh. Anytime you make a change in your admin account, you want to refresh the live site page. And we've come back, we're still on the portfolio area here. But if I look over to my navigation here on the left, you can see that I now have a contact page at the bottom of the navigation area. If I click on that, we'll see what has actually occurred. And here we have my text, and my image, and the contact form beneath. Aesthetically, probably not the best layout you could achieve. There's other things you could do, and there's other things that I would do to make this look nicer, but I just want to show you how you go about creating different content areas on a page. Excellent. Now, let's move back to, very quickly I'll show you some navigation and navigation layout ideas. That contact page is actually listed at the very bottom of the navigation area, which isn't great. I actually want it to bump up a little further in that navigation list. Again, I'm going to move back to my admin area, and if I come back to the website pages area, here is my contact page. Drop down the bottom. I'm going to grab that and drag it further up the list so that it appears just under the About page there. Again, if I flick back to the live site and refresh, you can see that contact has now moved up to that third position. Now, further to that, you can actually, as we saw when I created the contact page, you can actually achieve navigation nesting with your photo merchant site, with your account. So now that I'm going to actually take that contact page and I want that to nest under my home page. Now, this may or may not be how you actually decide to lay out your page, but note that you can drag and drop that beneath the home page. You can see there I can expand or contract that home page. And just for the sake of the exercise, I'm also going to take the About page and pull that in. Okay, so with your account, you can go to, as I said, 3 tiers of navigation. It looks like I've actually pulled that About page again under the contact page. I want it to be on the same level as the contact page, so I'm just going to bring that out there. Nothing to save there. The system's already updated that change. If I come back to the live site and refresh, then you can see that those 2 pages have now nested below the home page, if you like. So I can still get to those by that navigation area. So that's a quick look at the page, at creating pages and different page types. The content and the structure of what I've done here is fine. Aesthetically, I'm not happy with it though. I'm still using the default theme that the system took me, or gave me, allocated to me when I first created the account. And I want to have a look at some other themes to see if I can spruce this up and get it looking a little bit more in line with my brand, if you like. So if we come back again to the admin account, we're going to move this time down to the website theme area of the site. And you can see that I'm currently using a theme named Phoenix. I want to change this. Actually, before I do, just note that on the website theme area of any theme that you choose, there are a bunch of different text, body, and layout settings that you can access. Pardon me, navigation settings applies obviously to that vertical navigation strip that is currently on my site. And within that, we have access to the website title, a logo and further down we have background settings. So a lot of the aesthetic and design features that you might want to tweak and fine-tune are accessible through that website theme area of your site, and that applies to every theme that we have available. So make sure you do have a dig and a play through that area. As I said, I want to change from the Phoenix theme to a more recent theme. Amsterdam, Stockholm, and Tokyo are all mobile-friendly themes that I definitely encourage you to investigate. I'm going to change today to the Tokyo theme. So I've hit that. It's given me a little bit of a preview. If I like, I can scroll through to get an idea of what other example sites look like using Tokyo. And then to the bottom right here, I'm going to commit that change and choose that theme. Great. So here we are with Tokyo on the same page. Again, each theme actually has a different set of characteristics aesthetically and from a design perspective. So when you arrive on the new website theme page of your new theme, scroll down, have a look at what is available in terms of tailoring the content on your web pages. There are a bunch of different things you can do in terms of manipulating the color of text, of links. You can change the fonts and so on, and each the areas here will give you a little bit of a preview as to what that text change or font change or color change might look like. Lots of other settings under general, navigation, and so on, so do explore those when you change your theme. Let's go back again now to the live site and have a really good look. I'll probably go to the home page. Actually, that's going to update anyway. Have a good look at what we're dealing with at the moment, and once I refresh, we'll see what the new theme change has provided. Okay, great. So my navigation has moved from that vertical strip on the left of screen to a horizontal strip across the top here. The layout of this page is not dramatically affected. We have my text, my image, my contact box there, and up the top, if I scroll over the home page, those the about and contact page still fold down, nested under the home page as before. I'm going to take us back to the home page for a quick look there. Great, and that to me is just looking a little bit cleaner and a bit nicer. The content of the page obviously hasn't changed. We still have this slider with some default text below that. But let's have a look now. If we move back to website pages again, I'm going to have a go at just slightly updating and fine-tuning my home page. The slider there is great, but they're not my images. I want to get rid of it, and I want to put in place my own content. Okay, so this is what you will find when you edit your home page. We have a big content block, a big image slider block. If I go down to the bottom right here, I can get rid of that. Hit the trash icon, confirm that change with the delete. I'll leave that text in place, that's fine. But instead, I'm going to throw in, first of all, I'm going to throw in a hero image. Now this Tokyo theme, and let's go with, I might go back to another one of the default objects. I'm going to go to the nature gallery, which is one of the sample galleries. Of course, you'd probably use your own images. And let's try this blossom shot there. I'm going to create a new content area above the text. And you saw me create an image content area before, so I might quickly show you how to set up a video content area. If I hit the video option, now we're told here to either drag a video in or paste a URL. I'd recommend don't try dragging video files into this section. For the moment, it's best to use a URL. So we basically want to embed a video that is hosted either on YouTube or Vimeo or on your own content server. I have a URL over here, just so you can see. This is just a plain Vimeo URL. It's not a detailed embed code. All you need is the URL, Vimeo or YouTube URL that appears in your browser when you're viewing a video online. So you just grab the simple video URL. We come back to this area. I'm going to paste it in here, and immediately you should see that pulls the video directly into my admin account, but the same change obviously takes place on the live site. Great. Now, above that, I'm also going to set a heading. And I can choose whether that is an H1 tag, an H2, or a smaller H3 title. I'm going to go with H1. Down the bottom right of the page, I hit save. And let's refresh our live site. Great. So we have a page title. I have a heading area here. If I like, I can get rid of this welcome title. That's what we call the page title. And then I've created my own heading area here. So that might be, having both of those there might be too much, but you can edit that and change the feel. And here is my embedded video, text below, and the hero image of the blossom tree that you saw earlier. Again, as I said, different themes have different characteristics and treat content in different ways. That hero image has actually, as you can see, been pulled in as a background shot for this homepage. And with any of your web pages, and the beauty of, I think, of this Tokyo theme is that you can, in the way that I just have, assign a different background image to each web page across your site, which is a characteristic that I really like. I could, of course, also insert other hero images manually by just creating an image content block, but I think that is a nicer start to the site that I'm building here. I'm going to take another quick look over here at my portfolio section. I haven't changed anything here since we came to Tokyo, but as this page loads, you can see that this area now also has this nice soft background image in place rather than just a blank background. What's happening there is that Tokyo takes, this is on the portfolio section of your site, Tokyo takes the first image or the hero image from your first gallery, your latest gallery, and applies that image as a background to that entire portfolio section. So if you have a nice soft image that loads in, a nice image as the first image in your most recent gallery, that will be pulled in as the background for that entire portfolio page, which is a really nice effect, again, of Tokyo. Great. So without rabbiting on too much, the last thing I want to show you very quickly is the only thing here is that this page at the moment is looking a little bit bland in terms of branding. I don't have a logo uploaded yet, and I don't have a website title. So the last thing I'm going to do is to come again to my website theme area. If I scroll down the page, I will come to a navigation tab. I click on that to expand it. And again, I definitely encourage you to just click around through these different areas and have a play to become familiar with the different settings available. And I'm going to upload a website a website logo that I have ready to go. And I'm going to save that change down the bottom right. And if I refresh my live site again, now that might, oh, okay. That may not have been the best example logo to use. Sorry, my background bar here, which I can alter myself, is white, and I've actually uploaded what is mostly a white logo on top of that white bar. So that might not have been the best asset to use as an example there. I won't now because we're running out of time, but I can actually change the color of this white navigation strip. So I could go back into my admin account and take that from bright white down to, say, a gunmetal gray, and that would let my logo pop out a little bit nicer there while making sure my navigation items remain nice and clear. So barring that almost invisible logo, I think my site's starting to look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. It's a little bit more in line with my own branding, and it's got some of my own images starting to be splashed around and used as background for the site itself. So I might stop there because I've gone a little bit over the 30 minutes that I planned.